Hello, Encounters listeners. Dakota here from the Encounters team. Amanda and I are so happy to still be going strong and making content for you these past 2 years. And we wanted to make sure we said thank you to all of you who have been here along the way. And in celebration, we would like to air episode 1 all over again. So here she is in her full glory. I present episode 1. Welcome to the discussion.
Recording.
Okay, well, I mean, if it's at least recording, we've got something going, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Hopefully.
What a wonderful way to start an episode. Hello, y'all.
After an hour.
Oh, my God.
An hour.
Okay, so welcome to Encounters with your hosts.
With the mostest.
Well, I was going to say Amanda.
Did you say my whole entire name?
Yeah, I forgot we weren't doing that.
Yeah, let's do this again and not say each other's whole name.
Y'all, this is literally like take 32. Take 33, let's go.
Warning. The topics discussed on this podcast are subject to adult themes and languages. We seek to unravel the unexplained and unknown. This is Encounters.
Hi, welcome to Encounters. My name is Dakota.
And my name is Amanda.
And we're going to show you some secrets of the night. Y'all, intros are hard. I'm sick of this. Okay, so this is a show for all of you out there, just like Amanda and I. You have a deep-seated love for the paranormal, you're interested about the supernatural, and you want to know about little
Even
green...
aliens.
I was about to say, little green men. So, we're covering everything that's, like, kind of piqued our interest. Amanda and I both have very, like, personal stories and whatnot that go back, and for some reason, no matter what I do, I always have been interested in the paranormal and supernatural. And we'll get into that a little bit later, but I just want to take this time to let you know this is the roadmap. This is what we're doing. Amanda and I really don't have a plan, but
Nope.
We are going
That's how the best plan starts.
Just exactly. We're going to do research. We're going to find things. We're going to talk about our opinion. We're going to find expert opinions. If you stick around long enough, you might get a little true crime mixed with some ghost stories.
Exactly.
I've got an interesting surprise that Amanda doesn't know about for episode 2 that we're going to drop at the end of the episode. Also, by the way, happy Friday the 13th. Woo!
Oh, yay! Yes. We did not do this on purpose.
Yes. We did not record this months ago.
And drop it particularly. Yes.
For specific marketing purposes.
See, I work at this place called San Miguel Mission, right? And I was reading through the brochures recently, and actually there was like a big revolt, and a bunch of people got killed in that chapel. And I found out recently it's haunted, and I had no idea. Now I'm super scared that I'm going to see something.
Wait a minute. I have a giant encyclopedia of ghosts. Let's see if it has made its way into the ghost book.
Oh.
What's it called?
San Miguel Mission. It's the oldest mission.
Well, you know, you'd think you'd find an index at the back of an encyclopedia of fucking ghosts.
You can't just look it up by alphabetical order?
No. It's like famous ghost stories, apparently. What's it called?
Oh, okay. San Miguel Mission.
This house is haunted. Haunted places. Psychic photography. Haunted people. Poltergeist.
Nope. Well, who cares?
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. Amanda works at this freaky church with some interesting stairs that were built by Jesus. So...
They weren't built by Jesus. They think it was St. Joseph, but that is another time, another place. We will get into that too.
Maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
They say that one's haunted as well. Santa Fe actually has a lot of ghost stories.
Chicago has a lot, too.
I was about to say, so does Chicago. We live in some haunted places.
Yeah.
Freaking Roswell is right here. And I know you're like, Roswell is a tourist spot, but still. It's right here.
Just because something is there doesn't mean we need to go there. But
I mean, why not?
I know.
We could see some aliens.
It's that 90s TV show, Roswell. It just gets to me.
I love that.
Of course you fucking love that.
I loved that show. I remember it being on Sci-Fi. Like, it was during the summer, and Sci-Fi would play those marathons, like, all day. And that's how I discovered Doctor Who. That's how I discovered Roswell. That's how I discovered so many shows. So thank you, Sci-Fi, for those amazing summers. And Roswell was one of my favorites. That's a big reason I want to go. But anyway, that is also off topic.
Oh, shit. Today we want to talk about the various different types of hauntings. Specifically, Amanda and I are going to focus on intelligent hauntings versus residual hauntings.
Because there is a difference.
A major difference.
And if you're someone who's not really into the paranormal, thank you for listening. You'll kind of figure out the difference now and see if you ever get yourself into an experience, you'll know, oh, this is intelligent, or oh, this is residual. So that will be fun.
You know, in preparation for this episode, I happened to pop into this, like, used bookstore and stumbled upon Ghost Hunting for Beginners by Rich Newman. And it's fascinating. It really is. In the opening of the book, he identifies the types of hauntings for beginners. He says there's intelligent, residual, and PK, also known as human agent hauntings or poltergeist. He also says there's a fourth category called infestation, but this usually involves a non-human entity. Let's talk about residual hauntings first.
Okay.
Because the most common type of haunting out there, according to Taps and according to Rich Newman, and just from what we can tell, is the intelligent haunting. So I want to push that to the later portion of the episode because I think both of what we've experienced at times, even what we can tell from our personal experiences, are more intelligent in nature. Let's just jump on board with residual hauntings.
Yeah.
Taps says it's the energy from a traumatic event that is trapped in an object at the location. When the environmental circumstances are correct, the energy replays a certain aspect of the traumatic event. They say it's like just history reliving itself over and over in that space. Because as time goes on, spaces, buildings, places take on meaning. They absorb energy. The idea is that energy is neither created nor destroyed, just redistributed. Think about it. Castles, they use slate and granite, and the stones themselves
hold on to energy.
Hold lots of energy. They say in the like old wooden buildings, it's the iron nails that are holding the building together that holds and conducts this residual energy. And it's specifically tied to traumatic events.
They also say that running water can also hold on to energy. So if you notice that a lot of places are by like streams or even like the pipelines in buildings, that's all running water. So that's another thing that just holds on to energy. And when something big happens, it just kind of stays there.
Yeah, and it's important to note that this doesn't have to just affect buildings. It also can affect objects and possessions and like possessions as in goods, like the shit you own, not like possessions.
I was gonna say that.
Like the devil jumped and touched your soul.
That is a whole different topic.
That is a whole different topic. That's infestation. We're not going there.
Right. That's very true. Yeah, objects definitely hold on.
Places, objects, things hold energy, and it's just waiting to be redistributed. And they say that traumatic energy can replay itself. Specifically, one of the famous residual hauntings that is known is Anne Boleyn at the Tower of London. They say that her ghost haunts the grounds, but not like jumping out spooking people, but just like Anne Boleyn's spirit relives her time at the Tower of London.
Yeah.
In an aspect, it's not really a ghost. as much as it is residual energy of emotion that is happening in this space.
Because normally with residual, it's going to be something that's replaying over. And not necessarily replaying, but like, I can't think of this exact haunting. I feel like there's a few. But like if there's like a car accident on certain roads that are haunted and you see people running out in the road a lot, those are kind of residual hauntings. Or if it's like a maiden who's waiting for her soldier boyfriend to come back and people see her standing in the window waiting, that's another example like of a residual haunting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's important to note that most of the time with residual hauntings, the spirit or entity or apparition does not interact with the living around it.
Yeah. I remember reading in one of our articles that Dakota had pulled up. It's like if you change a doorway, a residual haunting won't adjust. It will just come through the wall. If there was a door there and then you put a wall up, the entity is going to continue doing the same thing. Or if you move furniture around, it won't react to the new layout of the room. It's going to react to the room however it was when this kind of image was kind of stamped into time, if that makes sense.
Exactly. One of the articles that we had posted onto the secret page was a really fascinating article by Dave Giuliano from the Shadowlands. And he talks about a residual haunting being a playback of a past event. The apparitions involved are not spirits, but recordings of this event. I had an experience at Rockford University once that I would classify as a residual haunting. Now, granted, it could have been my mind playing tricks on me, but the folklore around the area is that there was this evil guy that hurt and murdered 2 little girls, and so he was hung somewhere in the vicinity, and that at night you can hear the little girls laughing and giggling and playing like around the tree that the man hung from. And if you look through this arch on campus, you'd see a hung body just swing through the arch, just like back in the back of the tree. So
did you see it or something?
I'm walking back to my dorm on campus, and as I'm walking back, I have to pass this arch. It's about 11 o'clock, almost 11:30, and I, start hearing these little giggles and, something sounding like it's moving around. I'm like, okay, maybe there's chipmunks or whatnot, but whatever. And so I just, happened to look around the corner as I'm passing through the arch, and I saw something just, just moved as fast as it could, and I wasn't playing with it. I just took off running.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, all the way back to my dorm room, I heard, someone following me. It sounded like shoes following after me, and someone was laughing. Was not having it. I ran into the door because we had to put cards up to get into the door. I fucking went past the card machine. I said, fuck that. Hit the door. And a raccoon was digging in the trash can right next to the door. So that popped up and went, and scared the shit out of me. So I just, popped my card on, went inside, and cried.
I like how you cried.
I don't know what I did, but it was the most interesting little thing. And then, of course, as the longer you're on campus, the more you find out other folklore that students are telling each other, which is really interesting. Especially about the cursed building at the back.
Ooh. Cursed building at the back. I like the name of that. I remember, this is really random and off topic. It's not random or off topic, but when I was at Pinhurst doing that investigation, I walked past one of the windows and someone had put a mannequin head in the window. I kid you not, I kept my composure, but I almost took off running. I got so scared. But it was just a mannequin head.
Just a mannequin head.
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, who does that? Why would you put a mannequin head in a known haunted building? Of course you're gonna scare people. Just a bald head. You're just like, ah. Anyway, back to residual spirits. Since we kind of went off on a tangent. I was actually talking to Dakota earlier, and I think this would actually be a great transition into intelligent spirits, because I was talking to him about, what the lady in white, are they called lady in white?
I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the ghost hitchhiker.
Anyway, so the ghost hitchhikers are normally entities that kind of do the same thing, but they're not, I wouldn't necessarily categorize them as residual energy, though they do kind of do the same thing. They normally hitchhike. They will tell you to take them somewhere, and then they will just disappear. So,
which I think it's important to clarify. One, you shouldn't let any person in your car that you don't know.
Or house,
for that matter. Don't invite anyone in.
No.
Ever.
Never, ever. There could be a vampire.
Be a recluse. Don't make friends. Stay indoors.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So, moving into intelligent hauntings.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
It's everything that's not residual.
Right. These are going to be the entities, which we make this clear. We're talking about human spirits. Like, these at one point have been humans. We're not talking about, demonic or anything, but these are going to be the entities that communicate with you.
An intelligent haunting involves spirits that are clearly interacting with the living, moving objects, speaking directly to residents, performing actions by request demand. These are what ghost hunters most look for, says Rich Newman. And he is absolutely right. Those are the cases that prove that ghosts are real.
Yeah, like this happened.
And now everyone wants to say that parapsychology is like a pseudoscience, but honestly, with the guide that's provided here by Rich Newman in Ghost Hunting for Beginners, it's pretty... No, I hate to plug it because it sounds like I'm being paid for by this, but he doesn't know me. And
not yet, at least.
Well, I hope... if he calls me and wants to take me out on a ghost hunting adventure, I'm going to grab my EMF reader and I'm going to go buy a digital camcorder. We're going. I'm ready. I've got everything else.
Get your voice recorder going.
Oh, God. And that's really another element that we'd like to surprise you guys with this podcast. It's my hope to be able to go out there with the Encounters Paranormal team that I've constructed and capture some ghosts. We may catch a ghost, we may catch a crackhead. Who knows? I mean,
yep, you may catch
as Amanda's pointed out, I might find a black-eyed child.
Don't you dare! I'm done with you. Anyway.
Okay, so intelligent haunting. What does TAPS have to say about this? By the way, if you guys don't know, TAPS is the Atlantic Paranormal Society.
Where does the T come from? Transatlantic.
No, it's the Atlantic Paranormal. I don't know. Because apps just didn't work.
If you don't know who TAPS is, get familiar.
They're a giant professional ghost hunters.
They actually have a TV show called Ghost Hunters. I don't know if it's on anymore or not, but it was on Sci-Fi Channel, which, like I said, Sci-Fi is the best.
But I mean, it's not just TAPS that says this. This is quite clear across the board in ghost hunting. Intelligent hauntings are the ones that we look for because they're the ones that interact. It's not a scene in history replaying. It is an energy that's been stored and manifested that is trying to communicate with you or fuck with you or
asking you to get something done.
Exactly. The problem is there's so many examples of the intelligent haunting, but all that's coming to mind are fucking demonic possessions because that's really all we see nowadays.
That's
I mean, in the film industry and whatnot,
Yeah, they do a lot of demonic possessions. I don't think
because I was gonna be like Amityville. Oh, well, that's demonic. Exorcist. Oh, no, that's demonic. I mean, 13 Ghosts.
I got one for you. The Haunting in Connecticut.
That's a very good one. Yes.
Well, actually, that might be demonic too.
I don't think it's demonic. Isn't it about the little boy that was... Oh, wait, no, because it was affecting the guy with cancer.
Yeah. And
feeding off of him.
Yeah.
But there was the spirit of the good little boy that was producing all the ectoplasm and vomiting the jelly up in the air.
But that's from the movie. That's not from the actual.
Oh, I know, but
but yeah, in that particular movie, yes, the good boy was a ghost. The good boy. All of them were ghosts. Those were intelligent. They were communicating with the boy to get released.
That's really interesting because do you know what that jelly was?
Like what they used in the movie?
No, well, what it actually represents.
I think so. What does it actually represent? No, I feel like
ectoplasm.
I was about to say that.
It's what when the spiritualist movement started, and all these mediums would be channeling ghosts.
Yeah,
they were known. They were known to produce ectoplasm, which some people would say was this billowy cloud of gelatinous material that just flowed from them. It was the representation of a ghost actually being there. Funny enough, pictures. Yeah, there's lots of pictures. Look it up. Google it.
Google it.
Honestly,
Google ectoplasm. You'll get
spiritualist ectoplasm.
Yeah, you'll get so many results.
You'll get a lot of things, but what you'll also find out is that so much of it was faked.
Fake. Oh yeah.
That's one of the things that Houdini focused himself on during that, was trying to prove that these intelligent hauntings that these people were claiming to conjure was really them clicking their heels and whatnot, and proving that in retrospect, many ghost hunters attribute Harry Houdini to being one of the first actual ghost hunters, because he was seeking out these frauds to point out, hey, this is not this, that's not a ghost, this is not what's going on, I can tell because of this, I can tell because of this. Also making him one of the biggest skeptics of all time about ghosts, but at the same time, whatever. What would be famous intelligent hauntings, would you say?
It's so many hauntings.
There's
we can talk about the one we just looked up. The Screaming Man one. What was that one? That intelligent?
Oh, the Screaming Mansion in Georgia. The Union, Missouri Screaming House. Oh my god, I'm all over the place. The Union, Missouri Screaming House, is that the one you mean?
Yes.
It's actually a demonic possession.
Oh my god. Whatever. There's not that many demonic possessions.
That one is a demonic possession.
Can I say, by the way, that most of the time, maybe this particular one we just mentioned might have actually been a demonic possession. There's not very many hauntings that are actual demonic.
No, that's a very good point to bring up.
Yeah. Most hauntings, even if they're there are some that are demonic, don't get me wrong. And if you ever feel like you have something like that, please seek help. I'm not saying don't, but most hauntings are not demonic in nature. Unless you are actively going out and seeking something demonic, you're not going to just randomly get a demonic presence in your house.
Yeah, there's a lot of determining factors into having a demon.
Yeah, it's hard to get a demon. It's not an easy thing to do.
But if you go around throwing it out there that you just need a demon in your life,
right, it will find you. Yeah,
you'll catch one.
Right,
and it's not easy to get rid of.
It's
not some ectoplasm that just flows forth.
Most of the times you're really going to have just an intelligent entity probably just messing with you and trying to scare you. Because most of the time these things are either something that didn't want to move on. They had the choice and the opportunity and they decided not to. Or they're stuck here for a reason. They need something done. Or it's something that is going in between.
So, with intelligent hauntings, the reason that ghost hunters love this is because the big science behind ghost hunting is you want to capture a real ghost. So you go in with a pseudo-skeptic mind of trying to disprove, okay, this person believes that their house is haunted. So I've got to go in there and I have to find concrete evidence. That's why they set up the temperature readings. That's why they have the EMF reader, which is electromagnetic waves, because they believe that spirits communicate through an electromagnetic wavelength, which is measured. That's why when you have the EMF machine and it spikes, they say that's it moving. The temperature reading, they say, is because spirits are more condensed energy. They're colder. and whatnot. There's also hot spots that are just flashing with energy.
Yeah.
They want to go in with audio recording because you want to pick up spirits because they record on such a low frequency, like vocally, that you can't catch it in human hearing. Sometimes you can if
Sometimes,
you're
I was going to say.
But,
or if the thing is strong enough. Because a lot of the times, just spirits are energy. So if you bring in a lot
and they're vampires.
Yeah.
The reason they like fucking with you is because they feed off of your energy.
Right.
You're scared by them, they get more of your energy.
And you're bringing in EMF readers, and you're bringing in cell phones, and you're bringing in
batteries die. That's one of the big fun facts in the thing is to bring like multiple rechargeable batteries because spirits are known for draining them if activity like increases, and then the activity goes off the charts and you can't fucking record it because your battery dead.
Right. And that's how you get eaten by a ghost demon. Just kidding.
I think it would be worthwhile to kind of share our own personal stories with some intelligent hauntings. Do you have one, Amanda?
I do. So I actually have two for you. So as I said before, I went to this place called Penhurst Asylum up in Philadelphia, actual Philadelphia, not New Philadelphia. And I went with this guy named Nick Groff, and if you know him, he is from Ghost Adventurers. He was one of the guys in the original season. He's no longer on it. And another guy named Chad Lindberg. He is an actor. If you've seen Supernatural, he was Dr. Badass, or if you've seen Fast and Furious, he was in the first one. He played Jesse, I think. And then there was another guy named John Tinney, and they're just big in the paranormal field. And we bought tickets and we went to Penhurst and investigated with them. And we were down in the basement with Chad. He was going around the room and he was like introducing himself and he was recording. He wanted to get an EVP, which is electronic voice phenomenon, I think. Which is when you like record and then you play it back and you might hear a voice that you didn't hear in the room, right? So we're all going around the room introducing ourselves, and he stops at this certain girl and he tells her to repeat her name because she kind of said it too quietly. So he asked her to repeat her name, and after she repeats her name, we continue to go around, but then he plays back the tape, and on the tape you hear a voice say, her name is Jessica. Her name was like Jessica, I think. Maybe I might have made up her name. But you hear this voice repeat this girl's name. Like, that means something was there listening. Obviously, she freaks out. She was very, very uncomfortable with that, right? So we move into another room, and for some reason, I get very, very cold, and I start shivering, and I start coughing. I just got really just like I couldn't breathe, and all of a sudden, the guy who's leading it, the Chad, he like feels something scratch him, and he just like says, ow. He was like, something scratched me. And when he played back the tape, you hear this voice say, I should have got you. And after that, like, that was really creepy to start with. And this was the very start of our night. So then the next time we go upstairs with Nick Groff, and he has some kind of machine that is playing, like doing all this stuff, whatnot, and we go into the different rooms of this asylum. Because if you don't know anything about Penhurst was like an asylum for a very long time. A lot of people were mistreated there. By the end of its run, like, it was understaffed. People were left to die there. They had like bed sores. A lot of people went mute just because they didn't have communication with people. Like, it was horribly run. It was a horrible place. A lot of people passed away. I mean, you find that a lot with hospitals and asylums. Like we said, like when there's a lot of energy, people don't have to die, but especially when they do, like things get stuck there. And this also had like iron all around it and like the running water. Like there was other factors that kind of also held on to the spirits there. But these were also people who were just kind of left and just abandoned by their family just because they were different. So this place just had a lot of energy. So we're in the rooms, right? And we're doing another EVP session. And when they play back this tape, you literally hear like a man growl, get the fuck out. Like, you could just tell something did not want us there. Like, it was just very uncomfortable. And throughout the night, we just had experiences like that. When we were in the bathroom in another place, someone had a camera, like, shows the line. Like, if someone's there, it shows it in, like, a line, if that makes sense. Like, almost like a stick figure person. They were recording with this camera in this bathroom, and you just see this thing, like, dancing around, like, this bathroom. There's so many things to happen that night. And at one point, I even got, like, by myself, and I freaked myself out, and there was, like, a bird in there. Because, there's no windows in this place. I just so you know, I really tried hard. Because I was the only person of color there. But I almost had a moment when that bird, like, swooped down.
I would have had a moment, too. That would have freaked me the hell out.
Right?
Especially after hearing a man growl, get the fuck out. I'd be like, I'm out!
Yeah, exactly. The weirdest part, and I, for some dumb reason, did not take a picture. The next morning, I was taking a shower, and I looked down at my arm, and on the upper part of my biceps, there was a big bruise, like someone had grabbed me, and it was like a thumb bruise on my arm. And I personally do not bruise very easily. And I know for a fact I did not run into anything that night, but I also didn't feel like I got grabbed or anything in the same breath. But I had a big old bruise that wasn't there before, because honestly, that day I was wearing a no-sleeve shirt, and if I had a bruise, my friend would have noticed. Like, we all would have noticed. It was ginormous. But I had a big bruise on my arm the very next day.
Weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, so mine's a little bit crazy. I don't know if you would consider this intelligent, but I definitely do. So, my family moved from Kingfisher, Oklahoma to Bernice, Oklahoma. It's a small little town in the northeastern portion of the state, and had rented a one-bedroom house. It was a little bitty tiny farmhouse. There were houses everywhere around it. So it was like a suburb, but this house didn't belong. Mm-hmm. All the other houses were like trailers and this and that, but this little house, in the back area, there was an old refrigerator that was on its back with the doors shut. The second we moved in, my mom was like, this place is disgusting. Everybody clean. We cleaned that house from top to bottom. My mom cooked dinner that night. And my brother and I were watching ABC on a tiny little screen. It was Beauty and the Beast. I remember it well. The reception was fading in and out, and we all went to sleep. My mother that night had a dream that this little old man was standing in the house.
Oh my God.
And I had this strange dream about this weird old man standing in the backyard burying a body in the refrigerator. Like, it was really weird because I couldn't tell that I was dreaming. I remember this dream vividly. Like, I walked out of the house. My brother and I were playing in the little side corner or whatever. I don't know what we were doing. Probably pretending to be Pokemon or something. And whatever we did, we ended up at the refrigerator. And he was like, I bet you won't open that. And I was like, you're damn right I won't open that. Of course, I didn't say damn because I was like 12. I probably said damn. Who knows? Sorry, Mom. And I remember opening it up and it like being completely filled with dirt and like live worms like squiggling out of the dirt all around, and there was just a hand like that wasn't covered in dirt. And
in the actual
no, in my dream.
Oh.
And then
damn.
Like the next thing I see is the old man slam the lid down, and he's standing like right next to me, and my brother is like gone.
Ooh.
That's all of the dream I remember. The next morning when we got up, there was this thick, like slime green sap that had been pouring out of the walls. It was all over the counters that we had just cleaned. There was a giant like glob of it in the middle of the house and in my mom's purse everywhere. And that was when my mom was like, okay, well, we're going to go get the trailer down the way. Let's get this. And it wasn't like 2 months after that we left that city completely. It was a really, really weird like feeling. Like we still have the key to that house.
Oh wow.
I don't know anything else about that house at all, but spooky as shit. My mom and I still talk about it to this day.
Right, that is.
So I think that's an intelligent haunting.
See, the last one I would say is like an intelligent spirit, because I do have another story, but I'll tell that at the end. But I was hanging out with a good friend of mine at her apartment, and her boyfriend at the time, they were dabbling a lot in kind of like the paranormal. He thought his apartment was haunted, so he was getting like security cameras to record things, and they were using like a Ouija board to like contact things, just doing stuff that I told them I wouldn't do and I wouldn't recommend for other people to do. And so we're hanging out at her new place, and we both had gotten kind of weird feelings from it, but so she would have me come over a lot because she was kind of scared to be there. So we're over there hanging out watching Mothman Prophecies. And let me say, if you haven't seen that movie, go see it. It's really, really creepy. But if you have seen that movie, you know how creepy of an atmosphere it already gives you. So I can't tell if it was like heightened because the place we were at was actually haunted or what. But literally, it was the scariest like movie experience I'd ever had. And while we're sitting there watching this creepy movie, all of a sudden we hear what sounds like her dog. She has a little dog. It sounds like it's drinking from its water bowl, and she like calls its name out, and then the dog like lifts up his head, and the dog is sitting right next to her, like nowhere near the kitchen. Like we don't know. We both look at each other like very creeped out because this noise was loud, and it just sounds water, like something like in this water, and it was really creepy. And then so the movie ends, and I'm just sitting there staring at my foot, and the dog is sitting right next to me, and my friend is on her phone just like not even paying attention. And I have this like really just intense feeling of something is right next to me, right? Something is just standing there, and all of a sudden something flicks my foot, and even the dog reacts to it. Like it was so loud that the dog reacted, but my friend was so busy like in her phone, she didn't hear anything. So that happens, something flicks my foot, I feel it, I'm out. I literally just get up and leave. I just say bye. Don't tell her what happened. I didn't want to freak her out.
What a friend.
Yeah, and she told me that she was standing behind a chair and staring into a mirror, and she saw somebody walk behind her. She said she saw a man walk behind her. And the next time I hung out at her house, she was taking a shower because I think we're about to go out. So she was taking a shower. I'm sitting there with the dog, and we hear someone walk, me and the dog, which sucks because it's a dog. Like she can't back me up. But me and the dog hear someone walk across the room, and the reason I know the dog heard the noise is because she runs in the room and starts barking, but like there's nobody in there. Like my friend is still in the shower. I even start calling out her name because it literally sounded like she had came out of the bathroom and walked across the floor. So I start calling her name and nothing. Like then I hear her like turn off the shower, and I was so glad when she moved out. Like that place was so creepy.
I would also like to take this time to put a little side note out that the Mothman Prophecies movie, if you really are interested in Mothman, stay tuned for a future episode, as well as go and read John Kill's book, The Mothman Prophecies. It's fantastic. I've read it twice now.
Yeah. I saw a documentary on it, so I knew about it before. I just had never seen. I actually want to rewatch it to see if it was the apartment or if that movie is that creepy. Because, when I tell you, the sense of just like fear and uncomfortableness and just like something is coming for me in that particular space during that movie was so intense. It's an interesting story. Like, obviously, I would say read the book, but, I mean, the movie is a fun movie if you want to watch a good movie.
Well, it's really interesting, because in John Keel's, like, prologue to the book, it relates very well to a topic we've yet to discuss about ghosts, intelligent hauntings, residual hauntings. Humans have a tendency to want to string coincidences together. That's a big, important chapter in this ghost hunting book, like I was telling you. You know, your job as a ghost hunter is to prove or disprove what is happening. So if someone's saying they're being tapped or this or that, you want to have at least 2 people to corroborate, making sure that everyone is on the up and up, capture temperature recordings, capture electromagnetic wave changes, capture live spirit on UV, infrared, night vision, like what you experienced with the ghost hunters guy.
Yes.
Multiple different scenarios to try and scientifically prove that the environment is changing while this activity is happening. And that's what you want to do when you go into a ghost hunting event, because if you start to get scared in heightened situations where people are scared, they will start to think, oh, was that noise? Oh, that noise was someone in my house. Oh, that was this. Oh, that was this. Oh, that was this. When it could be wind in the apartment, or like a door. We have a door at my apartment now. It's my bedroom door. If my window is open, even the slightest bit, my door will pull itself open. But there are some instances that you can't get rid of.
And I want to say, if you ever do find yourself kind of like where you don't know if you're experiencing like a haunting or if you're just freaking yourself out, try your very damnedest not to give whatever any energy, because like we told you before, these things feed off of energy. They feed off of fear. And I know it's easy to say like, well, don't give it any energy, but I'm not there, you know, I'm not experiencing whatever's happening. But if you ever do find yourself like, I don't know if I'm freaking myself out or if this is something's in my house or I'm having an experience, try very, very hard not to give it any attention, give it any energy at all. And if it's nothing, then you'll realize quick, like you'll figure it out. Like Dakota was saying, like the door that's closing, like if you put yourself in enough different situations, you'll figure out if this is something that can be proven or disproven.
Yeah, become aware of your surroundings, and if you get through that step and you are aware and you're still like, okay, well, I think there might be a demon or a ghost in this house, all of your strength really relies on your spiritual strength. So if you will it to be so that I am shut off from communication, then you will be shut off as much as your spiritual strength will allow. Little things and just sifting energy changes and whatnot, that'll work for you. If you do feel like your house is haunted, you should look up to see if you have a local paranormal society or ghost hunters or even a member of your faith, any faith that you have. Just talk to somebody to get your own spiritual guidance. And then take those steps forward, whether it be moving or just trying to help the spirit move on, doing a smudging ritual.
And if you ever do find yourself with like the opportunity to go like kind of out ghost hunting and you want, like when you're in the moment, if you're out and you're purposely ghost hunting, I'm going to tell you this, do not go, because I know people see it on TV a lot, but if you ask those guys kind of how their home life is, some of them have had things follow them back. You know, you never know with this kind of world, like what you're really getting into. Because you could think something is an intelligent spirit, but this might be the one time this is a demonic entity, like in this place. You never know. So don't go out there trying to test the fates and see what's going on. Like really be aware of what you're doing, where you're at, what kind of entity it is, how much power you have, because a lot of people I think are sensitive and don't really know it, so they find themselves in these situations and they don't know how to handle it. So that's why I say whatever spiritualistic element you're gonna go with, you believe in, I'm all for it. Be very deep into that and just know like you can turn to it. If you ever feel scared, intimidated, uncomfortable, you have power. This is your home now, or this is your body, this is your space, and you always have the power. If you keep believing that, it will be true.
Okay, and with that, I want to drop what our next episode 2, is going to be about.
What is it?
Are you ready, Amanda?
Yes.
Shadow people and the black-eyed children.
We're gonna do both.
Do you think?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the shadow people, because shadow people are intense.
Let's do shadow people then.
Yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's do shadow people, and then after that we can go to black-eyed children. Because black-eyed children...
No, after that I feel like we need to do a true crime so that we can get the ghost hunting going.
You want to do a true crime? Okay.
Not yet. No, I think you're right.
I mean, I don't know.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We're figuring this out.
Okay, guys. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening.
Good for you guys.
Hopefully
we'll have a Twitter. And if you guys have any comments, please let us know.
Feel free. We do.
Then leave them the fuck home. We don't want to hear.
We do have a Facebook page. Please go like it. If you like what we do, please leave a review, comment, give us your thoughts. And until then, stay spooky.
All right. I'm going to turn off my recording now.